Hello. I hope you guys are all having a great day today. Well, it's sort of taken the RPG world by storm, hasn't it? It's now raised over $1.1 million on Kickstarter. Of course, we're talking about the Shadowdark RPG. It is the product of Kelsey from the Arcane Library, the company that publishes the game. And I think in essence, she is the company. Shadowdark claims to be a bridge of sorts between the OSR and 5th edition D&D. Classic gaming with elegant execution is one of the taglines she uses. I guess the feel of the OSR with some of the rough edges sanded down. And there is a quick start rule set out there, so you can already get a good sense of the mechanics and tone of the game, even if it's not finalized yet. So how has this game, which seemingly came out of nowhere, generated so much buzz? Well, I have a few thoughts on why it's raised so much money and garnered such enthusiasm, as well as one thing I know that I would change just by looking at the quick start rule set right away if I started playing this game. So stick around to the end for that. First off, I think it's the right game at the right time. Wizards of the Coast has made a series of blunders over the last 3 months, from the OGL fiasco to the Kyle Brink apology tour, complete with pandering racist commentary. It seems that each of D&D's competitors has benefited in some way. But the reality is that all the D&D competitors were sort of known entities, which means that even though their strengths were understood, so were their weaknesses. Paizo seemed to benefit the most, at least at first. But Paizo has their own issues as well. And each alternative, while probably better than Wizards of the Coast and 5e, was not exactly perfect. But having something shiny and new, a game whose flaws are perhaps maybe not yet fully revealed, is always enticing. It's human nature to be drawn to those sorts of things in times of uncertainty. Secondly, and I think this is really important, Kelsey seems to have conducted herself very professionally from everything I've seen. This is even more amazing because the gigantic corporation, Hasbro, has allowed and endorsed vitriolic, racist behavior from their employees online. Paizo, the second largest player in the field, is honestly not much better. But as far as I can tell, when she is representing her game and her brand, Kelsey will talk to just about anyone, regardless of their beliefs. And this is certainly the way to do it. And that's how you sell over $1 million worth of game to people. Let's be realistic here, too. Kelsey is a young lady, and this business doesn't see too many young ladies design complete games, soup to nuts, as they say. Now, obviously, women have been contributing for a long time and contributing valuably. But just to kind of take the reins from beginning to end of a game like this, of this scope, is rather impressive. I think there's a natural and understandable curiosity about that. And honestly, I think it's probably worked to her benefit a little. But she also seems to be a likable young lady that people are genuinely rooting for. Now, look, if the game's a dud for some reason, that won't mean much, but it probably has brought a few eyeballs that maybe wouldn't have otherwise noticed it. Reason 3 is marketing. This game seems to be marketed pretty aggressively. I don't know if it's just me, but I seem to get ads for Shadowdark popping up everywhere on a lot of social media and online platforms. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. She's spending a little money to make a little money. And as a CPA, I appreciate this. And I appreciate the faith in her own product. She has had some copies reviewed, which created, I guess I would call it a minor tempest in a teapot on Twitter. Our friend, the RPG Pundit, noted that she sent a copy to Questing Beast to do a paid endorsement/review. This is kind of one of those gray areas to me. I mean, I think it was legit for Pundit to bring it up, honestly. But, Kelsey said that she thought everyone kind of understood that was always the case with his channel. I don't necessarily damn either of them on this. In fact, Pundit himself lauded Kelsey for never resorting to any of the tried and true modern day tactics when this was going on, such as claiming that he was attacking an innocent girl or, something like that. Now, if I was in Kelsey's shoes, I'm not sure I would have done a paid review. To me, it just kind of never looks good, but it ended up not being a huge deal in the end. And I really don't even think she needed it, to be honest. Word seems to be getting out just fine on its own. The reason for is the look. Shadowdark is not afraid to sort of sell the sizzle along with the steak. It has this unifying look, which isn't always the norm. It relies on that stylized black and white line art, some of which is honestly quite beautiful. It has a thematic tone of darkness. Torches last an hour, that's it. When they run out, what will you do? Probably light another one, I would imagine. But time is precious. Don't waste it. Equipment runs out. And honestly, I do like all this. Now, some will say that, DMs, do this sort of thing naturally all the time. And, of course, they're right. But there's nothing wrong with codifying it in the rules themselves. Maybe in this game, everyone kind of buys into that theme. This seems like a good game to play maybe by candlelight. So many games make the mistake of completely ignoring a sort of theme, that ties everything together, favoring, mechanics overall. And I'm of the mind that there should be a good balance between the two. You want something that's pleasing on the eyes while you're reading it. It kind of sets your own personal mood, puts you in the moment, as it were, as you're reading. There's nothing wrong with that either. So yeah, the look of this game is really, really one of its strengths. And the last reason is hope. Even people who are satisfied with their current game are hoping that Shadowdark is a success. It's a nice story, has a nice feel, and I hope the final product is worthy of the hype. I don't think there's a whole lot that's groundbreaking with the rules from what I've seen in the quick start guides, but they do seem solid. I think this will capture some 5e players who are getting a little tired of that rule set, and OSR players who aren't afraid to try something new. For me, it'll be about how the adventures and gameplay are implemented. Is there going to be a sea change in the way maybe dungeon crawls are done as a result? Who knows? But I'm willing to check it out, and in the interest of disclosure, I did back the core rulebook myself for this. Now, I promised you one rule I would change almost immediately in this game. And this is something that probably would find more of a place with OSR folks than 5e players. The game implements, at least in the quick start rules, one thing that I thought was a bit of a fatal flaw in the end in 5th edition, and that is the long rest cure-all, the super power nap. Take an 8-hour rest and voila, all your hit points and ability damage is healed up. Now I understand she's doing this as a way to be 5e friendly, but it really, to me, doesn't seem to fit the look or style of the game. It kind of almost sticks out like a sore thumb to me, especially when there is a priest core class in the game with full access to healing spells. I would implement this house rule almost immediately. 1 day of rest, almost complete rest, will get you half of your constitution score. And because we're going with a dark theme here, round down. That's it. And who knows, maybe Kelsey will put in a similar grim and gritty option for OSR players in the final version. I hope she does. But even if she doesn't, it's easily remedied. You could do what I just said, or, any variation of that. And hey, if you're a fan of the Power Nap 5e rule, you're all set. So overall, I'm cautiously optimistic about the game. In fact, I'm working on an adventure right now, and it will probably be done with kind of a generic OSR rule set in mind. But whereas in the past, I and others might have been tempted to pump out a 5e version, thanks to Wizards of the Coast and their horrible, awful behavior over the last few months, let's say, that's just not going to happen. I won't produce anything for them, and I will only sit here and mock them. I will, though, consider doing a Shadowdark version of it. The game has a very easy-to-use open license that makes it quite attractive for third parties. So you can look for that later on this year from me. Well, that's all for now. Let me know how you guys feel about Shadowdark in the comments below. Did you back it? Will you back it? Are you excited? Is it groundbreaking or is it just all hype? I'd like to hear what you think. And if you like this video, why not hit that thumbs up button? Or better yet, subscribe to the channel. Join the army. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and we will talk very, very soon. Goodbye. Hey there, it's your boy Double D, and I want to tell you about a great offer from our friends over at Neckbeardia. That's right. We all love James and Megan, and I am happy to say they love us too. That's why they are offering a 10% discount on everything in their store just for my audience. If you haven't done so already, check it out at the link in the description below. They work with a fantastic 3D artist to offer you miniatures with detail you have to see to believe. No need to print anything out. They will take care of that messy and smelly business on their end. All you need to do is pick out your next character or the next group of monsters your party is going to fight. They also have some pretty hilarious subclasses for you guys that are still playing 5th edition, all for less than a cup of coffee. They have adventures, Atomic Punk 2160 by the Basic Expert, t-shirts, and a lot more. Why not support people that don't hate you? Use the promo code DND10 for 10% off your order. And remember that shipping is free for orders over 50 pounds. That's just a little bit over 60 US dollars. Visit them today and don't forget to use the promo code DND10.